Casinos use 9 tactics that would be illegal in any other business, but gambling laws specifically exempt them. Former casino managers who left the industry have started revealing these practices, and what they're exposing is brutal. Every single method is designed to make you lose money faster while making you think you're having fun. The house edge isn't the scam. These 9 tactics are how they multiply that edge into profits that would make a drug cartel jealous. If you've ever walked into a casino thinking you understood the odds, you were wrong before you placed your first bet. Here's what ex-managers say happens the moment you walk through those doors. 1. There are no clocks or windows, and that's psychological warfare. Walk into any major casino in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, or Macau and try to find a clock. You won't. Try to find a window showing daylight. They don't exist. This isn't accidental architecture. This is deliberate sensory deprivation designed to destroy your time awareness. Here's what former Caesars Palace floor manager Robert Martinez revealed in a 2019 interview. Casinos spend millions on interior design specifically to eliminate time cues. No clocks means you don't know if you've been playing for 2 hours or 6 hours. No windows means you don't know if it's 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. Your circadian rhythm gets disrupted, your decision-making deteriorates, and you keep gambling. But here's the part that makes it sinister. They tested this. Casino design firms ran experiments measuring how long people gamble in rooms with clocks versus rooms without. People in windowless, clockless environments gamble 30% longer on average. The casinos know exactly what they're doing. They've engineered an environment that makes you lose track of time, so you lose track of your money. Studies from UNLV's Center for Gaming Research found that casino gamblers in environments without time cues consistently underestimate how long they've been playing by 40 to 50%. You think you've been there for 90 minutes. It's been 3 hours. You think you're down $200. You're down $800. And it's completely legal. There's no law requiring businesses to have clocks or windows. Casinos simply choose not to have them, and that choice makes them millions by keeping you disoriented and gambling longer than you intended. 2. Free drinks are poisoning your judgment, and they know exactly how much every casino offers free alcohol to gamblers. This seems generous until you understand the math. A former pit boss at the MGM Grand, named Sarah Chen, told reporters that casinos have calculated the exact blood alcohol content that maximizes gambling losses without making customers too drunk to continue playing. Here's the formula. At 0.05% BEC, people become more risk-tolerant but can still operate slot machines and make bets. At 0.08% BEC, they're legally impaired but still gambling. At 0.10% BEC, they start making catastrophically bad decisions while believing they're thinking clearly. Casinos train cocktail waitresses to keep players between 0.05% and 0.10% for maximum profit extraction. But here's what makes this predatory: casino servers track how fast you're drinking and pace their service accordingly. If you're drinking too slowly, they increase frequency. If you're drinking too fast and approaching sloppy drunk, they slow down so you don't get ejected. The goal isn't to get you drunk. The goal is to keep you at the exact level of impairment where you make terrible bets but can still access your ATM card. Research published in the Journal of Gambling Studies found that gamblers with BEC levels between 0.05% and 0.08% bet 50% more than sober gamblers and make 35% worse strategic decisions. The casinos have known this for decades. That's why alcohol is free while water costs $5. And again, it's completely legal. Businesses can give away free alcohol. There's no law against serving people drinks to impair their judgment before taking their money. It's only illegal if you're too drunk to consent to contracts, but gambling isn't considered a contract. It's considered entertainment, so the normal rules don't apply. 3. Slot machines are programmed to almost win more than they actually win. Modern slot machines are computers running algorithms designed by mathematicians with PhDs. Every spin, every near miss, every bonus round is calculated to maximize playtime. Former slot machine programmer John Robison revealed in his book that slots are programmed to show near misses at rates far higher than random chance would produce. Here's what that means. You're playing a slot machine and the reels show two jackpot symbols lined up with the third symbol one position away. That almost win makes your brain release dopamine just like an actual win. The machine is programmed to show you these near misses 40 to 50% of the time you lose, even though random probability would only produce them 5 to 10% of the time. But here's the neuroscience behind why this works. Studies using fMRI brain scans show that near misses activate the same reward centers as actual wins. Your brain processes almost winning similarly to actually winning, which means you get a reward response even when you're losing money. The machine exploits your brain's inability to distinguish between almost succeeding and succeeding. Cambridge University researchers studied problem gamblers and found that near misses on slot machines cause increased heart rate, skin conductance, and gambling persistence even though the player is losing. The near-miss effect is so powerful that it overrides logical understanding that a near miss pays exactly the same as any other loss, which is $0. Here's what makes it legally protected. Gaming commissions regulate the payout percentage, which must be posted and must be accurate. But they don't regulate the psychological manipulation of near-miss frequency. As long as the machine pays out the posted percentage over millions of spins, casinos can program it to show near misses as often as they want. It's psychological manipulation, but it's legal psychological manipulation. 4. Casino loyalty cards track everything and use it against you. When you sign up for a casino loyalty card, you think you're getting comps and rewards. You're actually volunteering for surveillance that makes NSA data collection look amateur. Former casino data analyst Marcus Webb revealed that loyalty cards track every bet, every machine, every win, every loss, and every bathroom break to build psychological profiles used to maximize your losses. Here's what the data shows. Casinos know your average bet size, your average session length, your win-loss ratio, what time of day you gamble, what games you prefer, how much alcohol you drink, and most importantly, your pain point, which is the loss amount where you typically quit. They use this information to send you offers designed to bring you back right when you're most vulnerable. But here's the predatory part. If you lose $500 and quit, the casino's algorithm flags you. Within 48 hours, you'll receive a targeted offer. Free room, free play credits, restaurant comp. The offers are calibrated to your exact loss pattern. They're not rewarding loyalty. They're exploiting loss-chasing behavior by giving you just enough incentive to come back and lose more. Studies from the University of Nevada found that casino loyalty program members lose 25 to 40% more than non-members over time. Not because they gamble more frequently, but because the targeted marketing keeps them gambling during periods when they would have otherwise taken breaks. The algorithms identify when you're tilting and offer incentives to keep you playing through your losing streak. Here's why it's legal. You consented when you signed up for the card. The terms of service that you didn't read gave them permission to track everything. You volunteered for targeted manipulation, and the law considers informed consent, even though the consent form didn't explain that they're building psychological profiles to extract maximum money from you. 5. The house edge is disclosed. But the real math is hidden, which is the mathematical advantage the casino has. Roulette is 5.26%. Blackjack is around 0.5% with perfect play. Slots are 5 to 10%. These numbers are accurate, but they're also deliberately misleading because they hide how much you'll actually lose. Here's what former casino mathematician Michael Shackelford explained. The house edge is calculated per bet, not per hour, which is how real gambling happens. If you're playing blackjack with a 0.5% house edge and betting $25 per hand at 80 hands per hour, you're putting $2,000 per hour into action. The expected loss isn't 0.5% of your $500 starting bankroll. It's 0.5% of your total action, which is $10 per hour. But here's where it gets worse. Most people don't play perfect strategy. The house edge at blackjack assumes you make mathematically optimal decisions every hand. Real players make mistakes that increase the house edge to 2 to 4%. Now your expected loss is $40–80 per hour. The posted house edge is technically true, but practically useless for predicting your actual losses. Slot machines are even more deceptive. A slot with an 8% house edge and 600 spins per hour at $2 per spin puts $1,200 into action per hour. Your expected loss is $96 per hour. But the machine won't take $96 per hour smoothly. It'll take $300 in 20 minutes, pay back $150, then take another $200. The volatility disguises the mathematical certainty that you're losing approximately $100 per hour. Here's the legal trick. Gaming regulations require accurate house edge disclosure. They don't require casinos to explain what that percentage means in real-world dollars per hour. You see 0.5% house edge and think it's basically even. The casino knows you're losing $10–40 per hour. Both statements are true. One is useful, one is deliberately obscured. 6. Comp in dollars are designed to keep you playing until you lose them back. Casinos give out comp-ins, free play, and promotional credits that seem like rewards. They're actually psychological traps designed to generate more gambling than the comp is worth. Former casino host David Park revealed that every comp is calculated to produce net revenue for the casino even after giving away the free value. Here's how the math works. Casino gives you $100 in free play. Sounds great until you read the terms. Free play must be wagered 10 times before you can cash out winnings. That means you need to put $1,000 into action. If you're playing slots with an 8% house edge, your expected loss on that $1,000 of action is $80. The casino gave you $100 in free play and expects to profit $80 from the wagering requirements. But here's the behavioral economics behind why this works. Studies show that people gamble differently with free play versus their own money. They bet larger amounts because it feels free. This increases action even further. That $100 in free play generates $1,500 $2,000 in total action because winners keep betting bigger with house money. The expected loss isn't $80. It's $120, $160. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research found that people given promotional credits at casinos are 60% more likely to exceed their planned gambling budget because the free play creates a false sense of winning that increases risk tolerance. You came planning to lose $200. The free play makes you feel lucky. You leave having lost $400. The casino profited $300 after giving you $100 free. The legal protection is in the terms and conditions. Every comp has wagering requirements buried in fine print. You agreed to them when you accepted the offer. The casino disclosed everything. You just didn't understand what the disclosures meant until after you'd already lost the money. ATMs are strategically placed and charge predatory fees on purpose. Casino ATMs are positioned at specific locations determined by player tracking data, showing where people are most likely to need more money after losing. Former casino operations manager Lisa Rodriguez revealed that ATM placement is a science based on maximizing desperate withdrawals. Here's the strategy. ATMs are placed near slot machine clusters with high hold percentages, near exits where losing players are leaving, and along pathways between gambling areas where winners are moving to new games. The positioning ensures that when you run out of money, an ATM is within 30 seconds walking distance. This minimizes the cooling off period where you might reconsider gambling more. But here's the fee structure that makes it predatory. Casino ATMs charge 5 $10 per withdrawal, which is 2 to 4% on a $200 withdrawal. This is substantially higher than standard ATM fees. Additionally, many people don't realize their bank also charges a non-network ATM fee of $5. The total cost can be $15 to withdraw $200, which is a 7.5% fee before you've even started gambling. Studies from the Journal of Gambling Issues found that ATM withdrawals inside casinos correlate with problem gambling behavior. Players who use casino ATMs are 3 times more likely to exceed their planned budget and 4 times more likely to chase losses. The ATMs aren't there as a convenience. They're there as a last resort money source when you've lost everything you brought. Here's why it's legal. Private businesses can charge whatever fees they want for ATM access. The fees are disclosed on the machine before you confirm the transaction. Casinos argue they're providing a convenience service. The fact that this convenience service primarily benefits problem gamblers who are chasing losses isn't regulated. 8. Table limits force small players into worse odds. Walk into any casino and you'll see table limits prominently displayed. $10 minimum, $500 maximum on blackjack. Seems straightforward until you understand how betting limits destroy your ability to use the only mathematical strategies that can reduce the house edge. Card counting in blackjack requires increasing bets when the count is favorable. Martingale betting in roulette involves doubling bets after losses. Table maximums specifically prevent these strategies from working by capping how much you can bet when you need to bet large. But here's the mathematical reality. If you're using Martingale's strategy with a $10 minimum bet, you can only double 5 mice 6 times before hitting a $500 table maximum. This seems like plenty of room until you realize that losing streaks of 6-7 consecutive bets happen approximately 2% of the time. When you hit that streak, you can't double anymore. The strategy collapses, and you've lost $630. Table limits exist specifically to prevent bet sizing strategies that could reduce the house edge. Without the maximum limit, a player with sufficient bankroll could theoretically use certain strategies to minimize losses or even gain slight edges. The limits ensure that no betting strategy can overcome the house edge over time. The legal cover is player protection. Casinos claim table limits prevent problem gamblers from losing too much on single bets. The real purpose is preventing mathematical betting strategies from working. Both explanations are true, but only one is the real reason the limits exist. 9. Oxygen pumping is real, and it makes you gamble longer. This is the most controversial tactic because casinos vehemently deny it, while former employees confirm it. Multiple ex-casino managers have stated that major casinos use HVAC systems to increase oxygen levels slightly above normal atmospheric concentrations, specifically to reduce fatigue and keep players gambling longer. Here's what former casino facility manager Tom Harrison revealed. Normal atmospheric oxygen is 21%. Casinos allegedly run their HVAC systems to maintain 22 to 23% oxygen concentration. This is subtle enough that you don't notice consciously, but it's significant enough to reduce perceived fatigue and increase alertness. You feel less tired, you stay longer, you gamble more. But here's why this is difficult to prove. Oxygen concentration isn't regulated in commercial buildings as long as it stays within safe ranges. There's no legal requirement to maintain exactly 21% oxygen. If a casino happens to run their air systems in a way that increases oxygen by 1 to 2%, that's not illegal. It's just a byproduct of their HVAC configuration. Studies on oxygen and cognitive performance show that increasing oxygen concentration from 21% to 24% improves alertness and reduces mental fatigue by approximately 20%. This would directly translate to longer gambling sessions. However, casinos are not required to disclose their HVAC settings, so independent verification is nearly impossible. The legal gray area is obvious. There's no law requiring specific oxygen concentrations. There's no law against making your customers feel less tired. If casinos are doing this, and multiple former employees say they are, it's legal because the law simply doesn't address it. The absence of regulation means the practice isn't prohibited, even if the intent is manipulation. Here's the pattern across all 9 tactics. Each one exploits psychology, mathematics, or biology to make you lose money faster. Each one would be considered manipulative or predatory in any other context. But gambling is legally categorized as entertainment, not commerce, which exempts casinos from consumer protection laws that would prohibit these practices in other industries. No clocks and windows is legal because there's no law requiring them. Free alcohol is legal because businesses can give away drinks. Programmed near misses are legal because payout percentages are accurate. Loyalty card tracking is legal because you consented. House edge disclosure is legal because the numbers are true even if misleading. Compounter wagering requirements are legal because they're disclosed in terms and conditions. ATM fees are legal because they're posted before you withdraw. Table limits are legal because they're clearly displayed. Oxygen levels are legal because they're not regulated. But here's what makes the whole system predatory. These tactics work together synergistically. You're disoriented by the lack of time cues, impaired by alcohol, manipulated by near misses, targeted by loyalty programs, confused by misleading house edges, trapped by comp requirements, enabled by convenient ATMs, limited by table rules, and kept alert by elevated oxygen. Each tactic multiplies the effectiveness of the others. The casino industry generates $60 billion annually in the United States alone. That revenue doesn't come from people having fun and losing a little money. It comes from systematic exploitation of psychological vulnerabilities using tactics that are legal only because gambling exempts itself from the consumer protections that apply everywhere else. Every tactic you just learned about is completely legal. Not because they're fair, but because the law specifically allows casinos to do things that would get any other business sued into bankruptcy. You walked into the casino thinking you understood the game. You didn't understand that the real game started the moment you walked through the door, and every single element of that building was designed to take your money as efficiently as possible within the boundaries of what the law permits. Now you know what the ex-managers know, but not just because of math. Because every psychological trick that isn't explicitly illegal is being used against you simultaneously.